Hey guys, so back again to a disturbing content bit rather. We know that mental health plague the black community, plague the minority community. At times when we end up in a center where we need help, seeking help, sometimes we end up dead, sometimes we're left for not being supervised, and all kind of things. We know when it comes to the healthcare and the minority community, especially these asylum seekers, it's worse for them. We want to get into this story. We know when you're on mental health watch, you have to be checked every 15 minutes. We know that even when you go and check on a mental health patient and they wave you off, I'm fine. You still have to go and check. You still have to open the room door. You still have to go and check. You still have to go and check. So this one was basically lack of supervision at the intensive care mental health ward, where this man ended up dying and stuff like that. So let's get into the story. I'm going to read from the best of my ability. An inquest has concluded that a lack of supervision on an intensive care mental health ward where a man died meant policy and procedures weren't adhered to. Henok Zaid took his own life at the Caludon Center, Coventry on the 12th of August 2021. So basically it was an investigation from 2021. Everything come out now in the investigation. So this is why I'm highlighting the story. He should have been checked every 15 minutes, but was left unobserved for 3 hours, the court heard. What did I say to you all? The NHS Trust, which runs the facility, said it had fallen short on patient care and issued an reserved apology. You know, when it comes to this mental ward, you have to have education at times to work there. You just can't work there off the street. You just can't be working at McDonald's or customer service or in a bank and say you're going to work there. There's training for that. There's extensive training. And at the time, a lot of people don't want to work there because, you know, I guess they played on their own mental health. And a lot of people don't want to work there at times because their lack of patient empathy and sympathy. Let's continue. Right, so basically this is what the facility looks like. Okay, I'll show you guys what the facility looks like, just like that. Okay, so the facility looks exactly like that. All right, let's get back into it. Insufficient actions and observations carried out by a student nurse also contributed to his death, jurors said. Therapeutic observations on the patient by other staff were also inadequate, they concluded. The Coventry coroner inquest heard two healthcare workers falsify paperwork to make it look as though the checks on the patient had been carried out. The last member of the staff to check on Mr. Gebrsslasie, student nurse Amy Edwards, told the court that she had been sent to his room to take his blood pressure and temperature at about 13:55. Okay, that's about 1:55. Observing him, that's got 13:55 is army time, right? And you know, after 12 becomes 1, so it will be 1:55. Observing him for the doorway, she said he had told her to go away and leave him alone, the court heard. So what did I say to you? Even when they say go away, you still have to go and check. And remember, she said earlier she went to go and take his blood pressure. So if you went to go take his blood pressure, how can he tell you to go away? So what blood pressure did you take if he told you to go away and you went away? Oh no. Let's continue. These things only could happen to an asylum seeker, because what grounds are you going to stand on? Let's continue. He also said he wanted to be left to sleep forever. So when someone said that they wanted to sleep forever, that means they're thinking suicidal thoughts. Nobody sleep forever. Everybody sleep and wake up, whether you sleep 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, you sleep, you get up, bam, I'm here, I'm up. So when somebody told you or say that they want to sleep forever, that means, you know, they want to die Let's continue. Remember, the next word of dying is sleeping forever. Let's continue. Video footage of the interaction played in court showed the 23-year-old patient sitting on the floor on the opposite side of his bed to where Miss Edwards was standing. Mr. Gebrsslasie died shortly after 2 o'clock, the inquest told. So 1400 makes it 2 o'clock. So hear this. She went in to go take her blood pressure at 13:55. That's 1:55. He died shortly at 1400. That's 2 o'clock. So 5 minutes after she claimed she stand at the door, the man ended up dying, basically on her watch, on her time, on her clock, to be honest. I'll let you guys see it for a second. What time did she go in there to go see him? At 13:55. What time did he pass away? At 2 o'clock, 1400 is army time, but when you calculate it in real life time, it's 2 o'clock, yes? The reason why it's written that way, because it's a medical and it's a nurse, so usually you write in army time. Let's continue. Because remember, nurses stem from the army when the soldiers them used to go and get killed and stuff like that, and that's where the nurse found out to be in the hospitals and blah 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 blah. Remember, it was only doctors and blah blah. I don't need to get into that, do I? Okay, let's continue. He was found unresponsive in his room shortly after 1700. Could you imagine? So if 15 is 3 o'clock, 14 is if 15 is 3 o'clock, 1600 is 4 o'clock, then 1700 will be 5 o'clock in real time, if you know to calculate army time. So did you hear? So 13:55 she went to go take his blood pressure. 1400, that would be 2 o'clock, he died shortly, and they found him unresponsive at 5 o'clock. Do the math with me, please, and thanks. So 3-hour gap time. Nobody gives a shit. Let's continue. One healthcare worker who failed to check on him on the afternoon of his death said she had a habit of rewriting observation notes to get out of the situation. So she don't bother to look. She just look at the notes and write what she wanted to write. Oh no. Let's continue. One healthcare worker who failed to check on him, right? She said basically, she just rewrite the notes and get out of the situation quick and fast, as you guys can see right there. Okay? What a tragedy. Oh my. Another said she had made a mistake with a third healthcare assistant, claiming he was directed to falsify notes by more senior member of staff. So is it because he's an asylum seeker, don't really have any papers, no documents, not going to be accounted for, possibly his family is somewhere else? Nobody give a shit to go and check on this young man. He would be better off for this young man to die, because at least at the end of the day, allegedly, he won't milk the healthcare system. Are you kidding me, bro? Just my humble opinion, folks. Because if you went in there to go do blood pressure, at 13:55, bring us at 1:55. He passed away at 2 o'clock. Nobody found him until 5 o'clock, 1700. That's 5 o'clock. At the end of the day, folks, and there's something wrong. Not only that, they falsified the document, and now she's saying to you and telling the public that they told them to falsify a majority of the documents, and who cares basically about this young man. 23 years old, could be your son, could be your nephew, could be your brother. Oh no. Let's continue. You don't really get any media coverage, so when it comes to me, more time I highlight most of these things. Yes, let's continue. The football-loving youngster was kind, liked to make jokes and help the needy. His family told the inquest hearing via a statement. Originally from Eritrea, so basically Somalia, basically. He had arrived in UK in May 2020 after traveling across the Sahara, Mediterranean, and Europe, Georgia. Coventry at the Warwickshire Partnership, that's in UK, NHS Trust Facility, which runs the centre, said it was committed to addressing the concern identifying during our own internal investigation into the death. It had also made improvement to operating procedures and reduced environmental risk at its wards. We offer our deepest sympathy to Mr. Henok Gebrsslasie family and loved ones, it added. Okay? So just imagine that nobody checked on this mentally ill patient. Nobody cared about this poor child. He's coming from a tree all the way across the sea, and end up in the UK, end up dead in a mental ward where he's supposed to see fit, where he's supposed to get help, where they're supposed to care for him. So at times, a lot of times when black folks have mental issue, they don't want to go to the ward because sometimes they say that of lacking of help, lacking of remorse, lacking of empathy and sympathy, lacking of supervision. Remember, I came and I spoke to you guys about a story the other day where a black girl went into the hospital, maybe needed help, end up on the roof, frozen to death. Nobody looked for her until hours later. She was frozen to death on the hospital roof. Okay, so we know that when it comes to mental illness, it's plaguing the black community, whether you're from Somalia, whether you're from Africa, whether you're from Jamaica, whether you're from America, whether you're from Canada. Mental health is plaguing the black community in and out, in and out, in and out. This little boy shouldn't have died that way, shouldn't have been dead that way. In a facility where he went to go and seek help, he ended up dead like dog. So that's the story, people. So if you never heard about the story, look up the story from UK, and I had to come and shout it out. Peace and love.